What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I would like to continue my conversation with you concerning the year of 1944. But first, I would like to share a very funny story with you. In my last conversation with you, I mentioned the names Ike Williams and Bob Montgomery. Well, Ike Williams was announced to face Bojack before Bojack would lose his title to Bob Montgomery in New York's Madison Square Garden in their second heat. Ike Williams was invited to Madison Square Garden to promote his contest with Bojack. Announcer Johnny Addy will call Ike Williams up to the ring to share that announcement with the audience members. And Ike Williams would come into the ring wearing a three-piece suit, a fedora hat with a pocket square, and shiny wingtip shoes. And if you know Ike Williams, he had to tilt his fedora hat a little bit to the side just to show some swag. But unfortunately for Ike Williams, he's sitting in the first row, only to witness Bojack lose to Bob Montgomery. And Bob Montgomery was Ike Williams' rival, because Ike Williams was managed by the Philadelphia crime family. And the mayor of Philadelphia did not like the Philadelphia crime family. And so he did not like Ike Williams. But he admired Bob Montgomery, considered him the face of Philadelphia. Well, that caused a problem for Ike Williams because he had a lot of pride. And he wanted to make sure he was the king of the lightweight division. Sammy Aingott would retire in 1942 after defeating Lou Jenkins in December of 1941. And the New York Sack would name Bojack the new lightweight champion when he would defeat Tippy Larkin of New Jersey, stopping him in 3 rounds. Although 30-year-old Aingott would return to the ring on October 27th of 1943, he would lose his NBA belt to Juan Zurita of Mexico City. He lost to him in front of 11,300 spectators at the Gilmore Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Well, Bob Montgomery would defeat Bojack May 21st of New York's Madison Square Garden. It was in front of over 8,000 spectators, 15 rounds on a unanimous decision. Ike Williams would then defeat Juan Zurita 1945 in Mexico City, stopping him in 2 rounds. And that reminded me of when Marvin Hagler would stop Alan Minter in 3 rounds in 1981 to become the brand new middleweight champion of the world. Everything but the kitchen sink was thrown in that ring targeting Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He had to be ushered out of the ring. And that brings me back to Ike Williams when he would knock out Juan Zurita in 2 rounds. The audiences of Mexico City would feed Ike Williams the exact same treatment. They would land half-eaten sandwiches and popcorn, half-eaten pork chops, and every conceivable stain would land on Ike Williams, coffee and juice, soda, beer. And Ike Williams had to be ushered back to his locker room. He was never presented with the belt in the ring. And guess who had the belt? Bojack. He was holding Ike Williams' belt. And when Ike Williams came into the locker room, Bojack said, "We got to get it on. We got to get it on." And what really pulled the strings of Ike Williams? It happened in Philadelphia. And when Bojack came out to the locker room, everybody cheered Bojack. You see, they loved Bojack because Bojack reminded them of Henry Armstrong. He was a crowd pleaser. And this infuriated Ike Williams. So now he couldn't wait to get their hands on Bojack. But Bojack, as I mentioned to you, would lose to Bob Montgomery. So in 1948, in Philadelphia, Ike Williams would get his opportunity to face Bojack. This is in 1948. At that time, Ike Williams was now the unified lightweight champion because he would knock out Bob Montgomery in 6 rounds. Now, Bojack would defeat Bob Montgomery in 10 rounds, New York's Madison Square Garden, and collectively he would raise $35,864 with Bojack. And the war bonds would allow both men to earn $1 apiece. The crowd would applaud, and the referee was Billy Caviar, and he raised the hand of Bojack, who weighed 139 pounds, and Bob Montgomery weighed 138 pounds. It was a 10-round affair in front of a crowd of 15,822 spectators. Now, Sammy Aingott would defeat David Day May 3rd, 1940, 15-round decision. He would win the NBA World Lightweight Championship crown. Then Engard would defeat New York Sacks lightweight Lou Jenkins, who was a champion at that time. And Sammy Engard would defeat him in 15 rounds for unanimous decision. He would become unified. And on December 19th of 1941, he would become undisputed when he would take on Lou Jenkins. March 19th of 1943, Engard would defeat Willie Pep. And he would cause an upset. Willie Pep was the champion, but it was a non-title affair. But the upset was Willie Pep would now lose his losing streak of 62-0. Willie Pep was a fantastic featherweight champion. And Sammy Engard, who was truly a lightweight, would sweat down a little bit and take on Willie Pep. What a fascinating year 1943 was. But 1944 was not too far behind. Now on October 27th of 1943, Sammy Engard would defeat Luther Slugger White 15 rounds to win the vacant NBA World Lightweight Championship title. And Engard would finally lose his crown. He lost in the ring to Mexico City's Juan Jarita, March 8th of 1944. It was via 15-round decision. Both Ray Robinson and Bo Jack would defeat Sammy Engard. Sandy Sadler and Burt Lytell would turn professional in 1944. And they joined great fighters such as Gene Burton, Lester Felton, Ray Robinson and Coco Kidd, Holman Williams and Alan Faulkner, Detroit's O'Neal Bell and Tommy Bell, Sammy Baruti and Ezzard Charles, Archie Moore and Paul Lewis, Charlie Burley and Jack Chase, Harry Bobo and Jimmy Bivens, Elmer Violent Ray and Obie Walker, Lee Q Murray and Turkey Thompson, Chalky Wright, Joe Walcott, Jersey Joe that is, Earl Turner, Booker Beckworth, Oakland Billy Smith and Lucius Slugger White, Jackie Wilson of California, Bob Fockworth and Clinton Bacon, Charlie Riley and Jimmy McAllister, Arthur King and Joe Lewis, Georgie Pace and Spider Armstrong, Roscoe Tallis, Big Boy Brown, Wallace Cross and B.B. Wright, Joe Carter, Bobby Green, Charlie Green, and Roy Wilson, Curtis the Hatchet Man Shepard, and Leonard Marrow, Charlie Doc Williams, and Perky Bassett, Buster Tyler, and Bobby Zander, Willie Reddish, and Baby Joe Classy, Sammy Baruti, and Bob Satterfield, Ozzie Stewart, and Tiger Jack Fox, Eddie Booker, Little Tiger Aaron Wade, Major Jones and Freddie Dixon, Bob Amos, Kid Gavilan, Johnny Bratton, and Black Rico, Billy Sweet Pea Peacock, and Cleo Shane, Ernesto Aguilar, and Chuck Hunter, Danny Cox, Leroy Tiger Smith, Johnny Nelson, and Young Peter Jackson, Maya Dawson, Kid Mercury, Buzz Kid Jones, and Teddy Smith, Leo Kelly, and Bobby Birch, Bobby Jones, and Eddie Graham, Balling Dozer, Lem Franklin, Larry Adams, and Willie Peps, Dick Turpin, Dick Henderson, Randy Turpin, and Snook Lacey, Young Chocolate, Willie Joyce, Jackie Flowers and Alabama Kid, Andy Bundy, Willie Williams, Willie Lewis, and Sandy Taylor, Perk Daniels and Bobby Lee, Alan Matthews and Frank Buford, Ike Williams, Bo Jack, Bob Montgomery, and Richie Dallas, Willie D. Jones. You had Georgie Cross and Kid Tanner, Sonny Jones out of Canada, and Johnny Hutchison of Philadelphia. Balling Monroe, Wilfredo Brewster, Major Jones and Tiger Howard, Powell Silvers and Billy Arnold of Detroit, Billy Arnold's at Philadelphia as well. Odell Police, Sammy Campbell, Eddie Blunt, and Frankie Kidd. You had Luther Beatles and Bobby Bell, Toothpick Brown and Lynn Mathis, Coolidge Mitter, Willie Russell, Jackie Cooper, and Henry Wacker, Clinton McConway, Tommy Martin, Joe Ralph, and Nick Brooks. Gil Turner, Blackjack, Billy Fox, just to name a few. All these men would participate in 1940. I'm Scrapbook Boxing, the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. I just wanted to share a brief conversation with you concerning 1944. Billy Arnold, who was from Philadelphia, I'm going to talk about him one day, but he was something else. I had the pleasure of meeting him and a lot of the men that I just mentioned to you. These fighters during those years was something else. But these are some short stories that I wanted to share with you right here on the Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. Thank you very much for hanging in there with me while I discuss these great fighters. Be well and take care.